We restricted access to the API by using the Auth middleware. However, there is no authentication yet implemented. Laravel makes this process easy by using Passport. You can install Passport by running composer require Laravel Passport. The user model should have the has API tokens trait. This is going to help the user model to access some extra helper methods. Inside Auth service provider, boot, you can register Passport routes and of course import the class. Did I import has API tokens? Yes, I did. So if you take this step, if you register Passport routes, you will get a bunch of routes, and sometimes all you need is just 2 or 3. Before we test the routes though, PHP artisan migrate and then PHP artisan passport install. Okay, so now if I run PHP artisan route list, you can see all the routes. So what I'm talking about is this, that we have a lot of Passport routes that probably you're never going to use, because most of the times all you need is just these 2 routes. So in terms of best practice, I would suggest to remove Passport route from Auth service provider. So to remove this and instead declare the routes one by one, and of course you declare whatever you need. I am not going to do it in this video because I want to have a course just on Passport where I explain everything that Passport has and provides. Anyway, so we will keep it there for now, and you will open auth.php and down here, so API driver, change token to Passport. Okay, so now regarding token generation, there are a couple of different ways to do it. For this course, we are going to use personal access tokens. You can also use password grant tokens. If you use password grant tokens, then there is no need to test authentication because the code is already tested by Passport. All you have to do is to make a post request with the required parameters to get a token back. This is a TDD course, and I want you to get more experience with TDD and how to do testing in different cases, in different scenarios. That's why we will write the code to generate tokens. So we are going to use personal access tokens where we write the code ourselves. I will create a new test class inside tests, controllers. So inside here, I will have an auth directory, and then the class is called auth controller test.php. I will have the boilerplate. So we have first of all is the namespace, which is tests feature http controllers auth. Okay, and then use tests test case. What else? We have the refresh token. Can I do it like this? I am not very familiar with Visual Studio Code. I'm using this just for this course, so don't expect me to be very quick with Visual Studio Code. Anyway, so use refresh database. So this is a class and I want to import it. Okay, cool. Okay, so the test case is, oh my god, if I was on PHP Storm right now, this could be very easy for me. Okay, so it is, so the name of the class is can authenticate. You can be more specific with the name of the class, but I think this is fine for now. So to authenticate, of course, we need a route because we are not going to use the ones that Passport provides. If you want to use password grant tokens, you can go ahead and use the auth token route in order to create a token. But in our case, as I said, we are going to use personal access tokens. So inside web.php, I will have the route. So the route is a post request. Let's say that this is auth token, the endpoint, and then the controller is auth controller at store. Okay, so this looks fine. Let me now create the auth controller. So this should be inside here. So new file, auth controller.php. Of course, this is a PHP class. The namespace is up http controllers auth. Okay, and then we extend controller. I will import this. And the action is store. Okay, and we have a request because we are going to send some data. And I will import a request. All right, let's continue with the test now. We send a post request. So this JSON post to auth token. So we send the email, and for this I'm going to create a user. So create user. Remember that we do not want the resource, so this is false. And from that generated user, we just want the email. And the password is secret. So the password is always secret. Whenever you use the user factory, you always create a user with password secret. Now regarding the status code, should be 200. And we expect back a token. Like that. Okay. If now I run the test, so where is my command? Okay, so filter can authenticate. So if I run this test, as you can see, it expects something back. So it expects some data in order to loop through it because we are using a for each. So this assert JSON structure uses a for each to loop through some data. However, the action, of course, is empty. First of all, let's make sure that the email and the password are correct, so they are valid, that there is a user with that email and that password. So if auth attempt, okay, it looks like I have some autocomplete with Visual Studio Code because I used I'm using like a small package. So that's cool. Okay, so for the attempt, we pass the email and the password. So if the attempt is successful, then we want to create the token. So token equals to user where email request email. Okay. And we find the first user with that email, and we call create token. Create token requires a name, so it can be the email. And from this, we want to access token. The last step, of course, is to return this. So return response JSON token. First of all, this create token function is available to you because if you go to, where is my user? Here. So as you can see, we use this trait, and this trait it should have a function called create token. Yep, here it is. So this is why we can access create token on the user. Okay, so now let me clear the console, run the test again, and if I go to my log, let me quickly open, where is it? Storage, logs. Today is, okay, I cannot see the date, but we can find it, 18. All right. So the error is this one. Oh yeah, of course. My bad, I have to import Auth and import user. This is what happens when you have no experience with Visual Studio Code. Let me delete everything from this log. Clear, run again. Okay. It looks like we have a spelling. So this should be first. Okay, let me clear this once again, and hopefully this time. Okay, so this is the error that I was looking for. Personal access client not found. Because we are using SQLite and we refresh the database after each test, we have to set up a personal access client before a test runs. So in order to do that, I can say public function setup. So we call the parent constructor. Okay, and then what we can do is to run an artisan command, passport install, that we actually run at the very beginning in this video. So now if I clear this again and I run the command, the test, another spelling mistake. Wow, this is not my day. This is not my day. Okay, setup. Excellent, finally, after all these small mistakes with the spelling. Okay, so now they pass. As you can see, we have one test with 2 assertions. So that's good. So if I go back and I run all the tests, everything should return green. Hopefully it does, and it does. So let me run again the can authenticate. Okay. So finally, in this video, we learned how to set up authentication using personal access tokens without having to go through the default like passport token generation, when you can use password grounds and you just have the route, you make a post request with the client ID and client secret, and it sends the token to you. So in this case, we did that all in this class, so there is no need to use that route anymore. Okay, now in the next video, we continue with authentication, and in the next one, we see how we can do authentication using Gmail, so you can see how to authenticate using social applications.